In Matthew chapter 5, Jesus gives his most famous sermon, the Sermon on the Mount. And he starts it out with what we call the Beatitudes, the attitudes of living. And each of them start with blessed are, or in other words, happy are. So these are, if you have these qualities, these attitudes in you, you would have a happy life. I also believe that we could take those Beatitudes and apply it to marriage, to have a happy marriage. And that's what I tried to accomplish with in the marriage attitudes. It's based loosely on the Beatitudes. In my studio today, I have Alexander and Isabella, my AI personalities, and they will give you a review of my marriage attitudes 60-second playlist. They will comment on it and provide some application. So we're going to let them go ahead and take the show from here. So here comes Alexander and Isabella.
Welcome to our deep dive into marriage attitudes.
Okay.
Today we're going to be looking at how Ken Schaefer,
Right.
author of Marriage Attitudes, and the guy behind those super practical 60-second marriage tips,
Yeah.
uses the Beatitudes as like a framework
Yeah.
for a better marriage. Like he's giving you a spiritual cheat sheet
Yeah.
for happier relationships,
Yeah.
but in like bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. What's so insightful is how he takes those ancient teachings,
Right.
makes them like super practical for today.
Oh.
He's not just talking about these lofty ideals.
Yeah.
He gives you like concrete tools you can use right now.
Right.
Like improve your marriage today.
Okay, so let's jump right in.
Okay.
That first beatitude is
Okay.
blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I don't know about you, but poor in spirit
Right.
doesn't exactly scream like happy marriage to me.
Yeah.
So how does Schaefer make that connection?
Well, that's where his concept of the first marriage attitude comes in. So
Okay.
humility.
Okay.
He points out that in marriage, being poor in spirit isn't about lacking confidence or feeling bad about yourself.
Right.
It's about choosing to put your spouse's needs first.
Profound.
It's that shift from me to we, realizing that their happiness
Right.
is as important as your own happiness.
So it's less about like feeling bad about yourself and more about choosing to put your spouse in the spotlight.
Exactly.
So to speak.
And it's not just this vague concept. Like Schaefer gives like concrete examples, in his videos.
Right.
So think about a husband willingly doing a chore that his wife just hates.
Yeah.
Or a wife giving her husband space to unwind after work before diving into a serious conversation.
Okay.
It's about those everyday choices that say, your needs matter to me.
Yeah. And those small acts of service
Right.
can really add up, can't they?
Yeah, they absolutely do.
They create this atmosphere of mutual care and respect.
And what's fascinating is like research backs this up.
Does it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Studies have shown that couples who like prioritize each other's needs tend to report higher levels of marital satisfaction.
Interesting.
And they experience fewer conflicts.
So it's like investing in your relationships.
It is.
Emotional bank account.
Yeah.
Okay, so humility is like the foundation.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Okay, so the second marriage attitude, mourning over wrongs done.
Okay.
This one's tied to the Beatitude.
Okay.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted.
Okay, mourning.
Yeah.
Now that might sound kind of heavy
Right.
for a marriage guide.
Yeah. But he's talking about a very specific kind of mourning here.
He's not talking about like literal death.
Right.
Right?
No.
He's talking about recognizing the hurts we've caused in our marriages.
Precisely.
Even unintentionally.
Even unintentionally. Yeah. Acknowledging the times we've messed up, taking ownership of our mistakes.
Right.
And genuinely feeling remorse for how our actions have affected our spouse.
Okay, so it's not just about like one person apologizing.
Right.
While the other accepts it.
No.
There's more to it than that.
There is. Yeah. Schaefer emphasizes that for the one who caused the hurt, it's not enough to just say, I'm sorry. It's about taking concrete steps to change your behavior, to show your spouse that you're truly committed to doing better.
That's the repentance part, right?
It is.
It's about turning away from those harmful patterns.
Exactly. And on the flip side, for the one who was hurt, Schaefer emphasizes the importance of being open to forgiveness. Wow. It's not about condoning the wrong. But it's about releasing the bitterness and the resentment that can really poison a marriage.
So it's about choosing to heal and move forward.
It is.
Even if it's difficult.
Even if it's difficult. And what's powerful is that forgiveness, doesn't just benefit the relationship. Right. It benefits the individual as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, holding on to anger and resentment can be incredibly damaging to our own mental and emotional well-being.
Interesting.
Yeah, so forgiveness is actually an act of self-care.
Okay.
As well as an act of love for your spouse.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
Okay, so we've got humility.
Yeah.
We've got mourning over wrongs done. What's the next beatitude?
Okay, so the beatitude is, blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth.
Okay.
And Schaefer links this to the third marriage attitude, gentleness. He argues that true strength in a marriage comes from responding to your spouse with gentleness.
Interesting.
Especially during conflict.
Meekness.
Right.
Often get a bad rap, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like being passive or a pushover, but Schaefer's saying it's actually a powerful force in a marriage.
Absolutely. He's saying it takes real strength to control your emotions, to choose kindness over anger.
Yeah.
Especially when you're feeling triggered or upset.
That's tough.
Yeah, think about it. It's easy to lash out.
Yeah.
To say hurtful things in the heat of the moment that you'll regret later.
Right.
But it takes real strength to pause.
Yeah.
To breathe. To choose a gentler approach.
It's about being intentional with your words and your actions.
It is.
Even when you're feeling anything but gentle on the inside.
Exactly. And Schaefer offers a great tip.
Does he?
Yeah. We're putting this into practice.
What is it?
Before you launch into a potentially difficult conversation, simply ask your spouse, is this a good time to talk?
That's a good one.
It sounds so simple.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly powerful.
How so?
Well, it shows respect for your spouse's time and their emotional state.
Okay.
It allows them to prepare for the conversation rather than feeling blindsided or attacked.
It's about creating a safe space for open and honest communication.
It is.
Which is so important for that fourth marriage attitude.
Right.
Compassion.
Okay, now compassion links to the beatitude, blessed are the merciful, for they will obtain mercy. Here, Schaefer's highlighting the importance of putting your spouse's needs before your own.
Okay.
Showing them empathy and care, especially when they're struggling.
It's interesting how this builds on like the previous marriage attitudes, right?
Yes.
You need humility to recognize that your spouse's needs are important. And you need gentleness to approach those needs.
Right.
With sensitivity and care.
You're absolutely right. It's all interconnected.
Yeah.
And with compassion, it's not just about recognizing their needs. It's about actively seeking to meet them.
Okay.
It's asking yourself, what can I do to make my spouse's life easier, happier, or more fulfilling?
It's about taking that selflessness we talked about earlier.
It is.
And putting it into action.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that Schaefer argues.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That this kind of selflessness actually leads to greater happiness.
Interesting.
For both spouses.
Wow.
When you focus on making your partner's life better, you end up feeling more fulfilled and connected yourself.
So there's like a beautiful reciprocity.
There is.
To it. It's not about keeping score.
No.
It's about creating this virtuous cycle where each person's generosity inspires the other.
And it creates this incredible sense of teamwork and partnership.
Yeah.
You're not just two individuals living parallel lives. You're a team. You're supporting each other.
Yeah.
Celebrating each other's wins. Comforting each other through the losses.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how these marriage attitudes build upon one another.
They do.
So where does Schaefer go from here?
Okay, so this one is, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And it ties into what Schaefer calls the fifth marriage attitude, purity of heart. Now, this one might seem a little more abstract, but it's incredibly powerful when applied to marriage.
So how does purity of heart translate to like building a stronger relationship?
Well, Schaefer's challenging us to examine the motivations behind our actions towards our spouses.
Right.
He asks, Are you doing things for your spouse out of genuine love and care?
Uh-huh.
Or are you hoping to get something in return? It's about making sure that our actions are driven by selfless love.
Okay.
Not by selfishness or a desire to control the outcome.
That's a tough one, right?
It is.
Because even seemingly loving gestures can be tainted.
Yeah.
By ulterior motives.
Exactly.
It's about checking our hearts and making sure
it is.
We're acting from a place of genuine care.
Right. And it's not easy, but it's incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because when our hearts are pure, our actions become more authentic and meaningful.
Okay.
It's the difference between saying, I love you because you genuinely mean it, and saying it because you want your spouse to do something for you.
Right.
It's about being mindful of the intentions behind our words and actions.
I'm starting to see how these marriage attitudes create a framework for real transformation.
Yeah.
Both individually and as a couple. But we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
I think it's a good place to stop for now.
You're right. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Let's take a break and come back to explore that last marriage attitude.
Okay.
And what it means to live out these principles in the real world.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Great. Welcome back. I don't know about you, but just reflecting on those first 5 marriage attitudes has already given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's amazing how much wisdom is packed into these teachings.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about that last one. Living biblically in a modern world. How does Schaefer even approach that? It feels like a pretty loaded topic these days.
It is, and Schaefer doesn't shy away from the challenges. He connects it to the Beatitude, blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, which might seem a bit intense for a marriage guide.
Okay, I'm listening. Persecution for righteousness.
Yeah.
How does that tie into building a better marriage?
Well, Schaefer's point is that living according to biblical principles in marriage, things like prioritizing commitment, fidelity, putting your spouse's needs first, can sometimes feel like swimming against the current.
Right.
Yeah, these values aren't always popular or trendy.
Right. It's like you're expected to compromise on certain things to fit in with modern ideas about relationships.
Exactly. And that can be tough, especially when you're surrounded by messages that contradict your beliefs. But Schaefer's point is that there's a blessing in staying true to your convictions, even when it's hard.
Yeah, it's about having the courage of your convictions, even when it feels like you're going against the grain. It's kind of like that saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
But applied to faith and marriage.
That's a great analogy, and it highlights the importance of having a shared vision for your marriage, one that's grounded in something deeper than just fleeting trends or opinions.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that ultimately your marriage is accountable to a higher authority.
Okay.
And that brings a sense of purpose and meaning that can help you weather the storms.
So that makes sense. But what does that actually look like in practice? How do you live biblically in a modern marriage? Does Schaefer offer any specifics?
He does. He outlines 4 key elements of a biblical marriage that can serve as guiding principles: love, leadership, respect, and honor.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Let's break those down a bit, starting with love.
Okay.
Most people would agree that love is essential in any marriage.
Right.
But what makes biblical love different? How does Schaefer define it?
Schaefer emphasizes that biblical love isn't just a feeling.
Oh, yeah?
It's an action. It's a daily choice to put your spouse's needs before your own.
Right.
To forgive them when they hurt you. And to actively seek their well-being.
Okay.
It's about going beyond the romantic Hollywood version of love.
Yeah.
And embracing a love that's deeper, more intentional, and ultimately more fulfilling.
It's that selflessness we've been talking about, but taken to a whole new level.
Exactly.
It's not about fleeting emotions or keeping score. It's about a consistent, unwavering commitment to your spouse's happiness and well-being.
And this kind of love can be challenging at times because it requires us to put aside our own selfish desires and focus on what's best for our spouse.
Yeah.
But the rewards are immeasurable.
Okay, so that's love. What about leadership? That can be a tricky topic, especially in today's world where traditional gender roles are often questioned. How does Schaefer address that?
Schaefer is very clear that in a biblical marriage, the husband is called to be the spiritual leader of the household.
Yeah.
But he's also very clear that this doesn't mean the husband is like a dictator or that the wife is subservient.
Right.
It's not about control or dominance. It's about serving and protecting.
So it's more about responsibility than authority,
right.
Like taking responsibility for the overall well-being of the family.
Exactly.
Both spiritually and practically.
It's about Leading by example, making wise decisions, and ensuring that the family is moving in a direction that honors God.
Right.
And it's important to note that this doesn't diminish the wife's role or her contributions to the family. In fact, Schaefer emphasizes that the wife's role is equally important, but it's expressed differently.
Okay, so if the husband's role is centered on leadership, what does Schaefer say about the wife's role?
Schaefer focuses on two key words for the wife: respect and honor.
Okay.
And he's not talking about blind obedience or putting your husband on a pedestal.
Right.
He's talking about a deep, genuine respect for your husband as a person.
And for his role in the family.
Okay, so respect and honor, how do those translate into everyday actions within a marriage? What does that look like practically?
Respect means valuing your husband's opinions, listening to his perspectives, and supporting his decisions, even if you don't always agree with him.
Okay.
It's about recognizing his authority as the head of the household without sacrificing your own voice or autonomy.
So it's about finding that balance between partnership.
Right.
And recognizing the unique roles that each spouse plays within the marriage.
Exactly. And it's about treating your husband with dignity, speaking well of him to others, and upholding his reputation.
Right. And honor goes hand in hand with respect.
It does.
It's about recognizing his worth and valuing his contributions to the family,
Yes.
both big and small.
Both big and small, and when you combine these elements, love, leadership, respect, and honor, it creates a truly powerful foundation for a marriage.
It sounds like there's a real sense of mutual respect and admiration in this model of marriage. There is, and what I find so compelling about Schaefer's approach is that he doesn't just present these ideals in a vacuum.
Yeah.
He acknowledges the real-world challenges that couples face,
Right.
and offers practical tips for incorporating these principles into daily life.
That's what makes his work so relatable.
Yeah.
It's not just theoretical, it's something that couples can actually put into practice.
Absolutely. He takes these ancient teachings and makes them relevant to the modern world.
So to recap, we've explored Schaefer's 6 marriage attitudes, which are really just a reframing of the Beatitudes.
Right.
And we've delved into the key elements of a biblical marriage. Love, leadership, respect, and honor. And what's so remarkable is that these principles, while rooted in ancient wisdom, are still so relevant and applicable today. They offer a timeless roadmap for building strong, fulfilling marriages that can weather the storms of life.
And the beauty of it is that even if you're not coming from a faith-based perspective,
Right.
there's so much wisdom to be gleaned from these principles. It's about selflessness, forgiveness, respect, communication, all qualities that are essential for any healthy relationship.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that marriage is a journey you embark on together.
Right.
And that it requires intentional effort, grace, and a willingness to put your spouse's needs before your own. And I think that's a message that resonates with everyone, regardless of their background or beliefs.
I agree, and I think that's a great place to pause for now.
Okay.
We'll pick up the conversation in part 3 of this deep dive, where we'll explore some more specific tips and insights from Schaefer's work.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Ken Schaefer's marriage attitudes.
Yeah.
We've spent the last 2 parts exploring the biblical principles behind his approach.
Right.
And how he connects those to those punchy 60-second marriage tips.
Yeah.
But I think we're ready for some rubber meets the road advice.
Yeah.
Like, what are some concrete things couples can actually do to make their marriages stronger based on Schaefer's insights?
I love that you're asking that, because that's what's so great about Schaefer's work.
Okay.
It's not just theory, it's about real-life application. So
let's get into like the nitty-gritty
yeah,
of how to actually put these marriage attitudes into practice.
Exactly. So let's start with that first, marriage attitude: humility.
Okay.
We talked about putting your spouse's needs first, but what does that look like in the day-to-day grind of marriage?
Right. Like when you're just exhausted and you've got a million things on your plate.
Exactly. Schaefer really emphasizes those small, consistent acts of service.
Okay.
You know, like doing a chore your spouse hates, offering to run an errand, or simply listening attentively when they've had a rough day.
Okay.
It's about those seemingly insignificant gestures that say, I see you, and your needs matter to me.
Yeah, it's about shifting the focus from what can I get to what can I give, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's not about keeping score
Right.
or expecting something in return. True humility is about a genuine desire to serve your spouse, to make their life a little easier or happier. It's an act of love, pure and simple.
Okay, and that ties in beautifully with that second marriage attitude.
Yes.
Mourning over wrongs done. Because, let's be real, even with the best intentions,
Right.
we're all going to make mistakes.
Of course.
We're going to hurt each other, sometimes intentionally, sometimes not.
That's the human experience in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And Schaefer doesn't sugarcoat it.
Right.
He acknowledges that conflict is inevitable in any close relationship, but the key is how we respond to it.
So it's not about avoiding conflict altogether.
No.
It's about approaching it with the right attitude.
It is.
Which brings us back to the third marriage attitude.
Yes.
Gentleness, right?
Absolutely. It's about choosing to respond to your spouse with kindness and understanding.
Right.
Even when you're feeling hurt or angry, it's about pausing, taking a breath, and choosing your words carefully instead of just reacting in the heat of the moment.
It's so much easier said than done, though, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Well, emotions can run high, and sometimes it feels impossible to stay calm and collected.
Right.
Do you have any tips for how to actually do that in the middle of a disagreement?
Yeah, Schaefer has a great tip for this.
Okay.
Before you launch into a potentially difficult conversation, simply ask your spouse, is this a good time to talk?
Okay.
It sounds so simple,
right,
but it's incredibly powerful.
Go ahead.
It shows respect for your spouse's time and their emotional state, and it allows them to prepare for the conversation rather than feeling blindsided.
It's about creating that safe space for open and honest communication.
It is.
Which is so important for the fourth marriage attitude.
Yes.
Compassion.
Exactly, because when you feel safe and loved, you're more likely to be vulnerable with your spouse and share your true needs and desires.
Right.
And Schaefer encourages couples to be really attentive to those needs. Okay.
To really see their spouse and understand what they're going through.
It's about developing that deep empathy for each other.
Yeah.
Like putting yourself in your spouse's shoes, trying to see the world through their eyes.
Exactly. It's about going beyond just the practical needs and tuning into their emotional needs too.
Okay.
What makes them feel loved and appreciated?
Right.
What are their fears and insecurities? How can you support them through those tough times?
It's about being a true partner.
Yeah.
Not just a roommate or a co-parent.
Exactly.
And that leads perfectly into that fifth marriage attitude, purity of heart.
Right.
Because when your heart is pure, your actions flow naturally from a place of genuine love and care.
You nailed it. Schaefer encourages couples to constantly check their motives.
Okay.
Why are you doing this for your spouse? Is it out of a genuine desire to make them happy?
Right.
Or are you hoping to get something in return?
Yeah.
It's about being honest with yourself about your intentions. It's about being selfless in your love.
Right.
Not keeping score or expecting something in return.
And that can be tough, I'll admit. It's human nature to have expectations in a relationship.
Right.
But Schaefer reminds us that true love is about giving freely.
Okay.
Without strings attached. When you can let go of the need to control the outcome, you actually open yourself up to a much deeper level of intimacy and connection.
Okay, so we've covered the first 5 marriage attitudes, which all seem to build on one another in a beautiful way.
They do.
But what about that last one?
Right.
Living biblically in a modern world. That feels especially relevant.
It is.
Right now when so many of the traditional values around marriage are being challenged.
Schaefer acknowledges that staying grounded in your faith can be difficult when you're constantly bombarded by messages that contradict your beliefs.
Yeah.
His advice, be intentional about creating a faith-centered home.
Okay, what does that look like practically?
It could be as simple as making prayer a regular part of your routine. Maybe you start each day with a short prayer together.
Okay.
Or you could study the Bible together, even if it's just for a few minutes each week.
Right.
The key is to make time for your faith together, to create that shared spiritual foundation.
It's about finding your tribe, so to speak.
It is.
People who understand and encourage your commitment to living according to your faith.
Exactly. And it's not about isolating yourselves from the world. It's about being in the world, but not of the world.
Right.
It's about engaging with culture and society while staying true to your core values.
Which takes courage, doesn't it?
It does.
Especially when those values aren't always popular or widely accepted.
It absolutely does. But Schaefer reminds us that we're ultimately accountable to a higher authority than just societal norms.
Right.
And that can be a source of incredible strength and comfort, especially when you're facing opposition or criticism for your beliefs.
Wow, this deep dive has been so insightful.
It has.
We've explored the biblical foundations of Schaefer's marriage attitudes and gotten some really practical tips for incorporating them into our everyday lives. What are some key takeaways you'd want listeners to remember?
For me, it boils down to this. Building a strong, fulfilling marriage doesn't happen by accident. It requires effort, commitment, and a willingness to put your spouse's needs before your own.
Right.
It's about making those daily choices that reflect the marriage attitudes we've been discussing.
Yeah. And it's not about achieving some kind of perfect conflict-free utopia.
No, not at all.
It's about embracing the journey.
Right.
With all its ups and downs, challenges and triumphs, and having a shared set of values, whether they're rooted in faith or simply in a deep respect for each other, can make all the difference.
Absolutely. It's about choosing each other every day and making that choice with intention and love.
That's a beautiful thought. I think we can all get behind that.
I hope so.
So listeners, as you go about your week,
I
encourage you to reflect on these marriage attitudes. Which one resonates most strongly with you right now?
Right.
And what's one small step you can take to embody that attitude in your own relationship?
Good question.
Until next time, happy diving.
Thank you so much, Alexander, Isabella. I hope you enjoyed this program today. Keep tuned with us as we go into further and further marriage tips.